So let's make this happen.
I'm making you big now. Now you're full
Yeah, I
street.
mean, this is exciting for a bunch of reasons, but like mainly because like I'm a massive video fan and I've been obsessed with movies my entire life. So now I get to pick the brain of somebody who's like worked behind the scenes. So, enough of me being cryptic about who you are. So it's introduction time. Tell the bots and beings who you are and what you do.
I'm Jason Cianella, and I work in the film industry, in the camera department specifically. Most of the time, I'm a second AC, which essentially means I'm just like a mechanic. I'm like a mechanic and an IT guy for the cameras. Any way they need it built, put together, motors, gears, wires, batteries, all needs to be working. That's what I do. So it's pretty fun. And they're pretty much, cameras now are more or less like a computer with a lens on it. So there's that side of it too, of just knowing how to get to all the settings, change everything. I do that. And then also another part of the job is keeping it in focus, because they're not autofocus cameras. So that's being a first AC. It's focus puller. So that's when you watch a movie and everything's in focus. They don't have autofocus. It's someone holding a wireless like handset with a wheel, and it controls gears that are on the lens, and it's pretty cool.
I knew this was going to happen where I'm just going to learn a bunch of shit today.
Yeah.
But before we go too deep, drinks are never not involved with our interactions, and we're not about to start breaking that streak now. So cheers.
Cheers.
I did it backwards.
That's all right. It's thought that counts. So.
But since I've already like learned something from you already from like your tiny introduction, I guess that was a good like top level. You want to go deeper on anything? Is there any like?
I mean, there's a lot of minutia to the job. I mean, it is, aside from actually working with the camera, me and myself and the other people in the department who are like the second ACs, essentially the way like the hierarchy breaks down is, you have the director of photography, and then he runs the department. Then there's usually one or two cameras, maybe three if it's a real big job. And each camera has an operator, a first AC, and a second. So essentially the operator is like it sounds, operates the camera, moves it around. The first AC's primary job is the focus puller, keep it in focus. And then the second AC's primary job is essentially everything else, making sure the camera works. But like the most notable thing that the second AC does is when you see like the behind the scenes and you see the person like, like a marker, and they like hit the thing. That's like the most like, I don't know, like iconic part of the job, but it's essentially like the last kind of part of the job for us. It's like we have to have 20 other things going right before you hit those sticks, and because that's, starts the scene, but yeah, I mean, it's cool. It's like, then there's like paperwork, you deal with rental houses, getting gear in and out, like, depending on if you're on the A camera, you have a little bit more responsibility than being on like the B camera, in that like you kind of run the department more, do staffing, hiring, that kind of stuff. So it's, I mean, outside of the like on-set, like filmmaking part of it, there is a lot of just kind of not that exciting minutia of that everyone does at their jobs. We just do it with worse hours and usually in worse conditions. So, but hey, it's like, didn't want a 9 to 5 and, I got it. So, but.
Word. Yeah. I mean, yeah. I'm actually just now realizing this will probably be the most we've ever gotten into your professional side.
Yeah.
But I think that's a big compliment to us, because that means we've always had other things to talk about.
Yeah, I was just going to say, it's like, yeah, when we get together, it's like, yeah, we can talk about work. I mean, you could tell me, you could go on for probably hours about what you do. I only really know the surface level aspects of your job and like kind of like what you do. So, I mean, we talk about other things, I'd rather get together and catch up. So.
Right. Yeah. I mean, but I definitely have questions, and I'm almost positive I'll end up going rogue off my script because I've done it already.
That's fine.
So let's start simple.
Yeah.
And all right. Well, actually, I don't know if this is very simple.
Hmm.
Admittedly, my understanding of unions is like remedial at best. You've described your employment process to me before, where I believe you go on and off of unemployment based on when a project wraps and whether or not there's something else available. I'm sure I've severely butchered that, but so
No.
save me here and smooth over the mess that I've just made.
Essentially, the way it usually works in Pittsburgh is we'll be like really busy in like spring, summer, fall. Usually work up until Christmas, and then most of the time people don't want to film here in January, February. So that's usually when I'll be like off of work. So
Man, I can't imagine why.
yeah, well, this year I mean, knock on wood with all this, COVID-19 virus shutdown stuff, that there was a movie here that went up until about Valentine's Day. So I did get a nice little bit of chunk of work. I think the movie started back in October and ran through till mid-February. So, which normally doesn't happen for that time of the year. But yeah, normally I'll, finish a job, go on. I usually try to call the unemployment office just because I'll work for, usually like 3 or 4 companies, a year. So it's a little easier to do it when you're talking to someone than it is to just fill out the forms online. I find that like less mistakes get made, but yeah, so I'll usually go on unemployment for like a month or two, and then it's usually back to work. So and definitely now it's like, thankfully it's there. So, cause there is no work happening for the film industry right now. So.
Right. So you weren't in the middle of anything when this happened.
No, there was a job that was about to start for Showtime called Rust. That was going to be filming until about July. That I was going to, I didn't really want to work full time. I kind of wanted a break. So I was going to do second unit. So I was just going to kind of work like probably like 2 out of 4 weeks a month, on it. They usually bring in a second unit when they need help, with extra stuff, getting an episode done. And they kind of had they wanted to get a lot of stuff shot before July, so that they were going to have a pretty heavy second unit. So I figured I was just going to do that. But yeah, so I was kind of sort of planning on not being fully employed right now anyway. But, it's different when there's work and that, well, they might call me, oh, I can go in next week and work a few days if I feel like it. Now it's like, oh, hopefully, who knows? And restarting, it's going to be crazy too, because there's a lot of people that work on movies, and we work in very close quarters, and we work long hours, and you work overnight, you work in the rain. So there's like a lot of stuff that if like one person gets sick on set, like usually you'll see it go through everyone on the set. So
yeah, I mean, that's the way that my office job is too. I mean, it's absurd.
yeah.
But yeah, having something like this circulate would just be the worst.
Yeah. So, but I mean, yeah, that's normally with like the unemployment question is, yeah, I usually do go on it for usually like a month or two, just so I don't have to like dig into the savings really,
Right. So like I've heard of tons of movies that were put on hold. They were in the middle of shooting, just had to stop because like everything, states didn't even want people there that didn't live there. They were like, listen, if you're not from here, just get out.
Yeah.
Do you know how that's being handled by the industry, with like union workers still technically on a project, but the project being like on an indefinite hold?
To tell you the truth, I'm not sure. Like, so I can only speak from what friends have told me. Like, I know I had a friend that was working on a Netflix job in another city, and they were supposed to start like, I think like the Monday that like the lockdown went in place, essentially. So Netflix, they're apparently, I mean, I've worked for them before. They're a really good company to work for. Like lots of good, they pay well, essentially.
You shoot on
They pay
Mindhunter?
well, and they had a lot of good like not that it matters, like gifts and like swag, and the quality of stuff they gave out was like really, really nice. Like you could tell they knew everyone was there busting their butts for them. So they're like, at least we can do is give you a nice gift or something at the end of the movie. But not that that matters. Not that that matters. But so anyway, he told me, I don't remember the exact stat, but I think he said he was maybe getting 5 weeks of pay being of a paycheck. The movie got shut down. It was leaving, and they don't know when it's going to come back. But I mean, Netflix paid him 5 weeks. They didn't have to do that. They could have just closed the doors and been like, "Hey guys, we're sorry. We'll call you when we come back into town." I think the movie that was here paid everyone for a few weeks as well, because they were getting close to filming, or the TV show. They paid I don't know the details on that, but I just know people had said like Showtime kind of put forth a nice gesture for everyone as well.
Oh, nice.
Which I think is cool. It's like people were depending on this. There were, they could have taken another job. They took this one. So hopefully they, I think it's an act of good faith to maybe think like, well, when we come back, we paid you guys for a little bit of the time you're unemployed. Maybe you'll still come back and be loyal. But so as far as the union goes, I'm in like the local 600, like the IATSE local 600. Technically, we're a guild now. I am not as good on my homework as I should be with all the differences between a union and a guild, and all the inner workings.
Guilds just sound like they're from medieval times.
Yeah, I heard something with the guild makes it more like unions. There is the seniority thing, or they have to hire, I think, certain people before other people. Perhaps, like I said, I don't totally know. And I think with the guild, I think one of the things the guild does is it does take that away. I don't know. All I know is they guarantee my, my pay, and they give me healthcare if I work enough hours, and they, guarantee me like a lot of like safety stuff. So, it's cool. It's good enough. It's nice to have someone looking out for you. I mean, they're not like, I don't know. I mean, I don't know all the inner workings, but as for like what's going on right now with like their plans with this COVID-19 stuff. But yeah, I'm just rambling now, kind of. You might want to edit this out. So this is more.
Man, we stay raw. We stay raw with this, man.
Yeah,
we're going straight through.
Yeah.
But like staying COVID context.
Yeah.
I imagine production would have to be like pretty far along and basically be in like full on editing phase for any film work to continue through quarantine, right?
Yeah, to tell you the truth, I think like, there's probably somewhere someone's probably making like a really small indie movie, that's probably like a non-union job that they can kind of maybe just are doing with their friends. But I think actually Iceland and there's another European country that they actually, I think, are starting to film in with like obvious like modified like I don't know all the precautions they're taking, but there are a couple of places in the world like that I think that have kind of gone through the coronavirus like bell curve, so to speak, already, and they're on the other side of it now. Again, don't quote me. I think I just did I read the headline and now I'm an expert. So,
yeah, I don't have like my Google producer over here, like fact checking us.
Yeah, exactly.
So everything that we say is basically 100% correct as far as I know.
Yeah. I'm never going to get hired again in the film industry, and the union's going to blacklist me for just, it's trying to explain the difference between a guild and a union and probably butchering it horribly. So, but no, they're starting to like get some work in other countries. So there may be some like content coming out. But yeah, otherwise it's everything that's already shot and being edited is what you're going to be getting soon. So.
Word.
Yeah.
Do you know anybody that's having trouble getting unemployment? It seems like that's like the horror story that I'm hearing. And obviously it's the same with the small business loan, is that like people just cannot get through.
Yeah. When you eventually talk to Amanda, you can hear her side of that. But
that was exactly what I was hoping not to hear. But
as far as like I have a lot of friends that I'll see on Facebook kind of just saying like, has anyone had any luck getting through? It took me, thankfully I had signed up for unemployment just when my last job ended mid-February before it got really crazy. But how I'd said earlier, where I usually have to call because I always run into like some hiccups. I just did it online. And of course I ran into a hiccup. I went back 2 weeks later to file my first biweekly. I signed in and it goes, oh, you actually had a claim that was already, you need to reopen a claim. You filed for a new one. And I was like, could have told me that 2 weeks ago.
Right.
So I went back through and did it then at the end of March, still thankfully early enough. But it took almost a month. I think I actually just got my payments like last week, end of last week. And they all came they all hit my account like all at once. And then I actually did, knock on wood, over there. I actually did get some of that additional government, the $600 that I know a lot of my friends have, posted online or asked, has anyone seen this? Like, because I guess it's taking longer to hit accounts and stuff. But
Right.
So thankfully, yeah, I got like one of them. So, which I'm not going to complain because there's a lot of people still waiting for it, and there's people that probably need it worse than I do. So, but
Right. Well, so with just like kind of the little bit of movement we're starting to see, it seems like the powers that be are getting a little antsy to test the waters about getting things back up and running.
yeah.
Like, has the guild like reached out? Do you have any? Have they said anything to you about how things are going to move forward?
Yeah, we've pretty much gotten the last email we got from them was kind of like sort of like we're working on it. We're dealing with people who've been involved in this whole process. Like it's been like a slow moving forward because a lot of people have different ideas on how to do it and what makes sense. And obviously, like, everyone's safety is like main concern, whether it be, goodwilled or from fear of litigation. But yeah, they're starting to send us out. Like they're talking about it. They're trying to come up with a plan. They're working with all the other like IATSE unions and, which would be like Teamsters and, the grip, lighting, hair, makeup, they're all kind of different like numbers essentially. But yeah, they're working on it, but there really isn't a set protocol yet. So we kind of just get weekly updates, sort of where everything is. Nothing too solid yet has come through, but I also think that it probably realistically is like, it's too early. I mean, to safely go back to work like that. I mean, you got to think how much production there is in New York City, and they got a lot of cases there. So it's,
right.
They're going to be different than something that's going to maybe be filming here in Pittsburgh because we have, thankfully lower cases. But I don't know. Leave that to the people smarter than me. So.
Huh. Yeah, I'm sure there's going to be some people arguing about whether or not those people are smarter. But like, I'm actually so massively curious about what's going to be your future specifically, because like the only other thing I can imagine that's like anything close to what you do is almost like events, kind of being like on the crew of events and stuff like that, and not to mention the crowd itself, but like you deal like obviously movies have extras and everything like that, so like there's definitely their own like crowds they create. But yeah, we might have to do a part 2 because I would be very interested to see like how this all moves forward for you.
Yeah, I will be very interested too. So I would gladly down the road when things have kind of gotten somewhat more back to normal or new normal, as we're all calling it, would definitely get back together and chat.
It's the PP era. It's post-pandemic.
Yeah, sure. That's why it's the PP era.
We're gonna like pivot a little bit.
I think it's probably time. Yeah.
Yeah, I start this business wise, and then I angle it a little bit more personal.
Yeah.
Um, I'm sure you've noticed that we're on Zoom, and this is life and how relationships are being maintained. And now, probably yet for some time still. I don't know. I've known you long enough to be lucky enough to get to know you and a large chunk of the relationships that you always manage so well in your orbit.
Mhm.
It can't be easy uh, to like keep in touch with all of those people, your friends, Amanda's friends, family. Like you just have, you cast such a wide net, like, and obviously that comes with wide concern as a human. Like, how are you doing in all of this?
Um, I mean, thankfully, so far so good. Um, I mean, there's obviously been the concerns about the future. I mean, obviously, like professionally and fiscally. Um, but really, at the end of the day, that's not like the major important stuff. Um, but I mean, otherwise, it's like, I mean, I've seen you on the Zoom. I feel bad if we missed out with Matt, but we've seen Dom and Sue. We meet up with them now and again. And our neighbors Jim and Leslie. She owns Shop Juju. She, the other day we were just over there. She'll sit on her front top of her stairs. We'll sit at the bottom of the stairs. So we at least are seeing other people. My mom's in tech. She's a snowbird now since she's they're retired. So she's down in Texas with my sister. So which is really good, just to know that she's down. She's watching my nephew while my sister and her wife work. And it's good to know that my mom's not just like home alone up in Erie, like quarantining by herself. So,
Right.
so that's good. I call her we catch up every now and again. It's kind of become the same every time you talk to someone. It's like, what's new with you? It's like, same thing, as you guys. So, but yeah, seeing friends as you can safely on Zoom, and every now and then, like from a very safe distance, if you see someone walking down the street, like walking the dog, walking Z Dog a lot, we'll run into someone on Butler Street. You yell across the street, have a quick chat, from a very safe distance. But yeah, I mean, other than that, it's like we're holding up good. I mean, everyone's doing it. Everyone's doing their part. So
Yeah, for sure.
yes.
We and thankfully they are. I was actually really very shocked. Like when it all started, I was like, man, I wonder what compliance is going to be like.
Apparently, the Great Lakes region, we've done great up here, I guess. Like Erie has barely any numbers. Like, I think it's just because it's like it happened at the end of winter. We were all used to sitting inside anyway. So
Yeah.
but
Yeah, can you imagine if this was the middle of summer for Pittsburgh? They would lose their minds. The city would lose its mind.
I took Zeta up to Highland Park the other day for like a walk, and I knew it was gonna be a bad idea because it was like a nice day. And I like got up there. I've never seen so many people at the park. I was just like, oh. So we kind of did like the pulled in, and she's going crazy because we're at the park, and I'm like, sorry, Z Dog, and we like pulled out and just
Wrong
went.
turn.
Yeah, wrong turn, and we just kind of pulled over and walked around the streets in Highland, the neighborhood in Highland Park where there weren't as many people. She didn't care. She's a dog. As long as she has new stuff to sniff, she's happy.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was. I mean, I think you're right. I think if the height of this had happened, like if a few weeks from now when the weather's going to be like perfect, it would be like I think it would have been a lot worse. Like, but thankfully we've kind of had like a pretty crappy spring. I mean,
Yeah.
So I think that's helped.
As the co-host of like one of the best parties of all time, you also hosted one of the best virtual parties I've been a part of since this whole thing has gone on. I have a hard time thinking you're not finding something new and fun to occupy your time with. What have you been finding yourself getting into during all this?
Outside of just like the classic catching up on TV and movies, playing, I actually turned on my Nintendo Switch for the first time since May, so that was exciting. But just really been doing a lot of cooking, which is really nice because when I'm working, working 14 hours a day out of the house, I don't ever have time to cook. So that's been like really, really nice. I finally got a bag of flour the other day, so I was able to get back to like making pizzas and stuff. But no, we kicked around an idea with converting part of the basement into a secret bar with a false wall, but I probably shouldn't even be spilling the beans on that, but we figured out that it's probably going to be better to just use it for storage. And but yeah, it was going to be fun. We were going to, I don't know, I was going to try to do like a Raspberry Pi facial recognition to unlock the secret door, but it got a little it was going to be a little in depth for my lack of programming knowledge. So
did I put the bug in your head whenever I made my music streaming server with the Pi?
Well, I had done the Raspberry Pi for at the Shark Week party for the dinosaur that sprayed you in the mouth.
Yeah.
It was originally supposed to be automated, but I couldn't get it to aim properly, and it just kind of sprayed everywhere erratically. And then I burned out the motors that I was using on it. So then that's why I just ended up going with just the pressure vessel with like the button that released,
Yeah. And for the people that are watching, he made he had a Jurassic Park Shark Week themed party. It's a lot, but it was amazing.
Yeah.
And he made a Dilophosaurus, which if you know the movie, it's the one that spits and gets Dennis Nedry right in the face. And it was amazing. I have an amazing video I think I have it on Instagram of doing it and just laughing my ass off once I got a mouthful of shot and then also a lot of face full of shot.
Yeah. It sprayed a shot about.
So good.
Yeah,
it was so good.
Yeah, it's like 3 feet, and it more or less 85% hit you in the mouth. But yeah, so either way, long story longer, I had the Raspberry Pi left over from the failed project there that I've been trying to figure out what to use it for. I don't know. I might just make like a Pelican case, like mobile arcade with it, and just put like 2, joystick setups in the case and a monitor in the lid, and then that way I can take it to work, and during lunch breaks, pop it open and people can like play video games if they want.
I know somebody who literally finished theirs like right as this all started, and they were like playing Contra and like Mario 3 and all this stuff, and I was like, man, maybe I messed up with turning mine into like into a music streaming server, but I'm not really that bummed out about it. I've used it a lot.
They're cheap. They're like $30.
Yeah.
If you want to do that when this is all over, I'll just clone my card for you. And then
perfect.
That way you don't have to do any of the programming or downloading or anything like that. You just pop it right into your Raspberry Pi and it'll be good to go. So
yeah, I'll clone my card for you. You'll have a music server.
Yeah. So save me some money on Sonos, because I took the Sonos Dive, and it's really nice. It's a great product, but it's like there are some things that you're just like, someone has programmed this on a Raspberry Pi to do exactly this for like 1/10 of the cost. So excuse me. So yeah, but yes, you inspired me, Eli.
All right. I listen, I'm glad that I could do something for somebody.
Yeah.
I'm here by myself, so.
Yeah. How are you holding up, man, in the house by yourself?
I gotta be honest. I was totally fine for most of the time, and then it was actually interesting that you decided that you weren't feeling good enough to do this yesterday, because I feel like I kind of had like a small panic attack like later in the day, like towards the night. But I realized like I don't really get anxiety, and also I'm not one of those people that understands what insomnia is. Like I can sleep standing up.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Like I just, for whatever reason, I wasn't sleeping well, and then my appetite had gone down because of it, and I wasn't drinking a lot of water, and of course I enjoy booze, so I was dehydrated and tired, and I was starting to feel sick, and then I felt like I was getting anxious, and I realized, I'm just very tired and also very dehydrated. So I just slugged a ton of water and I got a good night's rest last night. And I
Good.
swear, like, I felt like one of those old Disney cartoons where I woke up in the morning and like the birds were following
Yeah.
me. And, like there was like a nice sweet tune behind me.
Yeah.
I felt amazing today. So I'm doing all right. It's great to have Kylo here. There's definitely something to having a dog
Oh
or
yeah.
some sort of a pet, just something else with a pulse in the house.
Yeah. Oh yeah,
Um,
absolutely. Is Kylo like loving it that you're just like there all the time?
oh yeah, I'm gonna need shoulder surgery from throwing the ball so much. It's crazy.
Nice.
It's crazy. I'm just sitting at my desk doing work all day, and he just like shows up in between my legs with the ball in his mouth, and I just like toss it like one way or the other down the hall, and he's loving it. So yeah, it's I mean, for the most part, like real talk, yeah, I've been mostly very good keeping myself busy doing things like this for sure. Like
Yeah.
I never in a million years thought that I was going to like get into anything remotely similar to podcasting, whatever. But I don't know. I've really enjoyed it. I've had some really great conversations. I had like some safe ones early on. Like
Yeah.
I did Kate, and we talked about her shop highway robbery
Oh
and
yeah.
um
Which I almost put on a highway robbery shirt tonight. I was like, I should be putting on a highway robbery shirt for this, and I didn't even think about it until I forgot that I was going to do that, and then yeah.
well, I was rocking the hoodie that I got from her shop whenever I interviewed her. So I was sporting things. I try to sport stuff from people's stores if I have anything from them when I'm interviewing them.
Oh yeah.
Um, but yeah, no. So everything's been good. But I guess like we're kind of towards the end of this thing. I know you're not like big on engaging in social media, but like as far as I know, you're still a really big voyeur.
Oh, I am as creepy as they get, Eli.
All right. Well, then that keeps my question intact. Has there been anyone in particular you've seen doing anything cool or unique that you want to like shoot a little attention to?
Uh, yeah, Amanda will make fun of me for it, but I was a huge fan of this guy on Bon Appetit's YouTube channel, Brad Leone. His
Okay.
called It's Alive, and he started doing the shows from his house now. And pretty much, and I started watching them. I love all the cooking videos and stuff. And oh, here, speaking of, she's she's texting me. She's still working. She's getting caught up on stuff. But yeah, he's host. I watch all these cooking videos because, why cook when you can just watch it on TV? But they're all like really, really funny. Like he's like, just like, yeah, check them out. They're really funny. You'll like it. Even if you're not super into cooking videos, like he'll crack you up. Doesn't need a recommendation. I think the guy has like almost 1 million like Instagram followers. But more locally, our buddy, our friend Kate is, oh man, I can't remember his name. I shouldn't say that. I shouldn't recommend this. Hopefully they won't watch it. His Instagram handle is JX4, like J_X_4, and he's been doing. He'll just do like live DJ sets like from his place, and he just like I don't know spins. Is that the right term?
Yeah, I think that's what the kids are saying.
But yeah, we'll see that he goes live, and we'll just like put it on through the speakers and just like sit and hang out and like play cards or just like have some beers and stuff. And he'll play for like hours, and it's like really, really fun to listen to. Like he has like a really good like ear for, I feel like people like our age group like want to hear, like it's like a little more of like, I don't know, song, like I don't know. It's not like he's just playing like songs that just came out. Like
Right.
he's not playing stuff like it's not just like he's not like just playing like 90s hip hop.
Yeah, he's digging into the legacy stuff.
Yeah, it's some horrible, the worst recommendation ever is coming from me right now. But we've been listening to him a lot, and his stuff's like really, really awesome. His artwork's really cool too, and also hell of a nice guy. So
Right
yeah,
on.
J_X_4 on Instagram, which I know everyone's watching this on Instagram. So there you go.
Yeah, well, this will definitely be there.
Jeremy, this is the DJ name, I think. Jeremy, that's his name.
There you go.
Yeah.
Brought it in right at the end. So the main purpose for this is like a way for people to connect a little more while we're forced to distance, which is like, it's so unfortunate. I wish,
Yeah.
whatever. We're all doing
It
it.
is. I mean, it's what we got to do. It's better
Yeah.
than, better than getting it and overwhelming the hospitals and,
Yeah. Yeah.
so the least
But
we can do is stay at home and watch TV and talk on the internet. So,
yeah, we definitely have that.
yeah.
But before we wrap, is there anything you want to ask the people watching? Do you have a question that you would like the people watching to answer for you?
No, I don't know. Not really. I mean,
You
I
don't
thought,
have to have one.
you warned me. I thought the people were going to ask me a question, and I realized that, wait, this isn't live. How are they going to ask a question? No, I don't know. Just whoever. Where's a good New York style pizza place besides like Badamos and Slice on Broadway? Beside like the main pizza places. Where can I get a solid pie?
All right, I like that. So if you're watching, leave a good New York style pizza place in the comments, and
Or just any pizza place. That's not like your typical like Minio's, Aiello's. Don't go with the ones we all know about already. Like,
right.
give me that weird neighborhood pizzeria that you ate growing up.
God, I hope people blow up the comments with this, because I'd love to know too.
Yeah.
And you don't have to, since you're not like giant on social, but I always end saying, tell the people like your social media, your website, whatever, how they can get in touch with you if you want. If not, you can just stay the wallflower you are.
Oh, I mean, if you want, it's my Instagram is my name spelled out. It's just my name spelled out. Not
Literally
Jason.
my name spelled out, not Jason Cianella. It is
Yeah.
my name spelled out.
Yeah, and my Facebook is just Jason Cianella. I think the last post I have on my Instagram account is from like 5 or 6 years ago. Oh, besides the Shark Week invite. So, yeah, so not that exciting. But you can follow me, and I'll creep on your Instagram page. So.
Oh yeah, well that's good. Yeah, follow him. He'll follow you.
Yeah.
And you'll never hear from him, but just know that his eyes are all over you.
Their eyes were watching God. So, well, anyway, this was a good time.
Yeah, man. You're my first drinking interview, so
Yeah.
that was delightful. I may just do all of them like this now.
Not bad. So,
but
I probably rambled for like 45 minutes incoherently. People are gonna be like, "This was the worst one yet, Eli."
They'd be like, "No, don't drink anymore. Stop drinking."
Don't.
In fact, just stop drinking in general.
Yeah.
Like, no, I got through to the liquor stores. Thank you very much. So I am well stocked.
Yes. Nice.
But yeah, man, thanks for doing this. I definitely want to circle back with you once everything kind of lifts, because I think that it'll be very interesting to hear your story on what it's like on the other side, how they rolled things out for you guys.
Yeah. Like I said, I'll be curious to see as well, and yeah, I'll let you know over some beers sometime.
Right on, man. Well, cheers to that.
Hey, cheers, Eli. Good talking to you, man. Ding.